Navigating the complexities of modern attraction. In the ever-evolving landscape of human connection, deciphering the subtle signals of attraction can feel like navigating a labyrinth. This is especially true when considering the dynamics between individuals of different generations, where unspoken expectations and communication styles can often diverge. While direct expressions of interest remain valuable, many women, particularly younger ones, often employ more nuanced and indirect approaches to gauge a man's availability and reciprocation. This essay aims to illuminate these subtle cues, focusing on 7 key questions that a younger woman might ask when she is interested in pursuing a more intimate relationship. By understanding the underlying meaning and strategic intent behind these seemingly innocuous inquiries, men can gain valuable insight into a woman's true feelings, enabling them to respond appropriately and cultivate deeper connections based on mutual desire and respect. It's important to approach this topic with a sense of responsibility and awareness, recognizing that every interaction is unique and requires sensitivity and genuine interest in understanding the other person's needs and boundaries. These questions are not foolproof indicators, but rather potential signs to be considered within the broader context of your interactions. The art of subtlety. Why women often communicate indirectly. Before delving into the specific questions, it's crucial to understand the reasons why women, particularly younger ones, may choose to communicate their interest indirectly. While societal norms have evolved, many women still face pressure to conform to traditional gender roles, which can discourage them from being overly assertive or initiating romantic advances. Fear of rejection, social stigma, or being perceived as too aggressive can all contribute to a more cautious and subtle approach. Furthermore, indirect communication allows women to test the waters without explicitly exposing their vulnerability. By asking seemingly innocent questions, they can gauge a man's interest, availability, and suitability as a potential partner before committing to a more direct expression of feelings. This strategy allows them to maintain a sense of control and avoid potential embarrassment or disappointment. It's also important to recognize that women often prioritize emotional connection and compatibility over purely physical attraction. Therefore, their questions may be designed to assess a man's values, interests, and personality traits, rather than simply his physical appearance or financial status. Understanding these underlying motivations is crucial for interpreting the true meaning behind a woman's questions and responding in a way that fosters trust and connection. It's about recognizing the unspoken needs and anxieties that may be driving her behavior and creating a safe and supportive environment where she feels comfortable expressing her true feelings. Building rapport and trust, the foundation for intimacy. The key to successfully navigating the complexities of attraction lies in building a foundation of rapport and trust. This involves actively listening to the other person, demonstrating genuine interest in their thoughts and feelings, and creating a sense of mutual understanding and respect. Rapport is the feeling of connection and harmony that develops between two people when they share similar values, interests, and experiences. It's about finding common ground and creating a sense of comfort and ease in each other's presence. Trust, on the other hand, is the belief that the other person is reliable, honest, and has your best interests at heart. It's about demonstrating integrity, keeping your promises, and being consistent in your words and actions. Both rapport and trust are essential for creating a safe and supportive environment where intimacy can flourish. When a woman feels understood, respected, and valued, she is more likely to open up and express her true feelings. Therefore, before attempting to decipher the subtle signals of attraction, it's crucial to focus on building a genuine connection based on mutual respect and understanding. This involves actively listening to her, asking thoughtful questions, and sharing your own thoughts and feelings in an authentic and vulnerable way. 7 key questions. Unveiling the subtext of attraction. Now, let's explore the 7 key questions that a younger woman might ask when she is interested in pursuing a more intimate relationship. It's important to remember that these are merely potential indicators, and the true meaning behind each question will depend on the individual, the context, and the nature of your relationship. 1. Do you live alone? Decoding privacy and opportunity. The seemingly innocuous question of do you live alone carries a weight of potential implications. On the surface, it might appear as a simple inquiry about your living situation, but it often serves as a discreet assessment of privacy and the potential for intimacy. A woman who asks this question is likely considering the logistical possibilities of spending time alone with you. She may be envisioning movie nights, intimate conversations, or other activities that require a private and uninterrupted setting. The question also allows her to gauge your level of independence and responsibility. Living alone suggests that you're capable of taking care of yourself and managing your own affairs, which can be an attractive quality. When responding to this question, it's important to be honest and straightforward, but also to consider the broader context of your conversation. You can answer directly, but follow up with a question of your own, such as, why do you ask? This allows you to gauge her intentions and respond in a way that moves the conversation towards a deeper connection. For example, you could say, yes, I have my own place. It's nice to have some space and independence. Why do you ask? This response is both informative and inviting, encouraging her to elaborate on her reasons for asking. Avoid being overly defensive or evasive, as this may raise suspicion or suggest that you're hiding something. Instead, be open and approachable, and use the question as an opportunity to build rapport and trust. Ultimately, the question of do you live alone is a subtle invitation to explore the possibilities of spending time together in a private and intimate setting. By responding thoughtfully and engagingly, you can create a sense of anticipation and excitement, paving the way for a deeper connection. 2. How many people have you been with? Navigating intimacy and experience. The direct and personal question of how many people have you been with can feel like a loaded inquiry, fraught with potential judgment and awkwardness. However, it often reveals a woman's underlying interest in understanding your history with women and your comfort level with intimacy. While the question may seem superficial, it allows her to evaluate your experience and openness in the realm of relationships and sexuality. She may be trying to determine whether you are sexually experienced, emotionally mature, and capable of handling the complexities of a committed relationship. The question can also be a veiled attempt to assess your values and beliefs regarding sex and relationships. She may be trying to determine whether you're promiscuous, conservative, or somewhere in between. When responding to this question, it's important to be honest and genuine, but also to protect your privacy and avoid sharing overly personal details. You can provide a general answer without revealing specific numbers or stories. For example, you could say, I've had a few relationships in the past, but I'm not really focused on the quantity. I'm more interested in finding a meaningful connection with someone special. This response is both honest and respectful, conveying that you value quality over quantity in your relationships. Avoid being boastful or dismissive, as this may come across as arrogant or insensitive. Instead, be humble and approachable, and use the question as an opportunity to demonstrate your emotional maturity and respect for women. Ultimately, the question of how many people have you been with is a delicate and potentially revealing inquiry that can provide valuable insights into a woman's expectations and desires. By responding thoughtfully and respectfully, you can build trust and create a sense of mutual understanding. 3. What kind of movies do you like? Planning intimacy and shared experiences. The seemingly casual question of what kind of movies do you like often holds a deeper significance, particularly if a woman is interested in pursuing a more intimate relationship. It's a subtle way to gauge your compatibility and to potentially plan a movie night together, creating a closer and more personal connection. By inquiring about your movie preferences, she is assessing your interests, values, and personality traits. She may be trying to determine whether you share similar tastes in entertainment and whether you are open to exploring new genres or styles. The question also provides an opportunity for her to suggest a particular movie or genre that she enjoys, allowing her to subtly steer the conversation towards a more intimate topic. If you sense that she is in the mood for something flirty, you can respond by mentioning romantic movies, which can easily shift the conversation to a more intimate tone. If she responds positively and suggests watching one together, it's a clear indication of her interest. The type of movie she suggests can also provide clues about her intentions. A romantic comedy or drama may indicate a desire for a cozy and intimate evening, while an action movie or thriller may suggest a more casual and adventurous outing. When responding to this question, it's important to be honest about your movie preferences, but also to be open to trying new things. You can also ask her about her favorite movies, showing that you're genuinely interested in her tastes. Ultimately, the question of what kind of movies do you like is a subtle and strategic way to gauge compatibility and to potentially plan a more intimate encounter. By responding thoughtfully and engagingly, you can create a sense of anticipation and excitement, paving the way for a deeper connection. 4. What are you doing this weekend? Checking availability and suggesting plans. When a woman sends you a message asking, "What are you doing this weekend?" there's a strong possibility that she is interested in spending time with you. This question serves as a subtle way to check your availability and to gauge your interest in hanging out. She may be looking for an opportunity to suggest a more private plan or to ensure that you have time alone together to deepen your connection. By inquiring about your weekend plans, she is subtly expressing her desire to see you and to explore the possibilities of a more intimate relationship. To pique her interest and find out what she has in mind, you can respond with something like, "I don't have much planned yet. Do you have something in mind?" This response is safe and persuasive, encouraging her to reveal her true intentions. If she suggests going to a restaurant or somewhere special where you can be uninterrupted, it's a clear sign of her interest. She is subtly showing her desire for a closer relationship by creating an opportunity for intimate conversation and shared experiences. When responding to this question, it's important to be enthusiastic and receptive to her suggestions. You can also offer your own ideas for activities that you think she would enjoy. Ultimately, the question of "what are you doing this weekend?" is a subtle and strategic way to gauge interest and to potentially plan a more intimate encounter. By responding thoughtfully and engagingly, you can create a sense of anticipation and excitement, paving the way for a deeper connection. 5. Can you help me with something at my place? Creating intimacy in a private setting. If a woman asks for your help with something at her place, like moving heavy boxes or fixing a leaky faucet, it's often a strategic move to create an opportunity to be alone with you in a comfortable and private environment. While she may genuinely need your assistance, she is also using this request as a way to initiate contact and to create a situation where you can spend time together without distractions or interruptions. Being in her personal space allows for a more relaxed and open atmosphere, which can facilitate deeper connection and intimacy. After completing the task, you could suggest watching a movie or grabbing drinks together, which could lead to greater closeness. To facilitate this move, you can respond with something like, "Sure, I'd be happy to help. Plus, it's a good excuse for us to spend more time together. How about we celebrate with a movie or some drinks?" This response is both helpful and inviting, suggesting that you are open to exploring a more intimate connection. Remember that the more time you spend alone together, the better the opportunity for the relationship to become closer. By creating a private and comfortable environment, you can foster a sense of trust and intimacy that can lead to a deeper and more meaningful connection. When responding to this question, it's important to be respectful of her boundaries and to avoid making any assumptions about her intentions. You should also be prepared to offer your assistance without expecting anything in return. Ultimately, the question of "can you help me with something in my place?" is a subtle and strategic way to create an opportunity for intimacy in a private setting. By responding thoughtfully and respectfully, you can build trust and foster a deeper connection. 6. How far is the restaurant from your place? Assessing the possibility of a nightcap. When a woman shows interest in you and potentially wants to take the relationship to a closer level, the question, "how far is the restaurant from your place?" can be very revealing. By asking about the distance between the restaurant and your house, she is likely assessing the possibility of continuing the night in a more private setting. She may be considering whether it would be convenient to come back to your place for a nightcap or to continue the conversation in a more intimate environment. This question is a subtle way to gauge your willingness to extend the evening and to explore the possibilities of a more intimate connection. When responding to this question, it's important to be honest and straightforward, but also to consider the broader context of your conversation. You can answer directly, but follow up with a question of your own, such as, "Why do you ask?" This allows you to gauge her intentions and respond in a way that moves the conversation towards a deeper connection. For example, you could say, "It's about a 15-minute drive. It's a pretty convenient location. Why do you ask?" This response is both informative and inviting, encouraging her to elaborate on her reasons for asking. Avoid being overly suggestive or presumptuous, as this may come across as pushy or insensitive. Instead, be open and approachable, and use the question as an opportunity to build rapport and trust. Ultimately, the question of how far is the restaurant from your place is a subtle and strategic way to assess the possibilities of a more intimate encounter. By responding thoughtfully and engagingly, you can create a sense of anticipation and excitement, paving the way for a deeper connection. 7. Do you like hugging? Expressing affection and evaluating openness. The question, "Do you like hugging?" may seem simple, but it can reveal a woman's desire for physical closeness and her assessment of your openness to tender moments. This question often arises in conversations about personal preferences or past relationships, serving as a subtle way for her to express interest in physical affection. By asking this question, she is evaluating your comfort level with physical touch and your willingness to share moments of intimacy. If you respond affirmatively, it indicates that you are comfortable with her and interested in sharing affectionate moments, which can encourage her to express her desire to be closer and move towards a deeper connection. This question can also indicate that she values having a partner who enjoys affectionate moments, suggesting that she is looking for a more intimate and emotionally connected relationship. When responding to this question, it's important to be honest about your preferences, but also to be mindful of her boundaries and comfort level. You can express your enjoyment of hugging while also emphasizing the importance of consent and respect. For example, you could say, "Yes, I enjoy hugging. I think it's a great way to show affection and connection. But of course, it's important to always respect each other's boundaries and to make sure that everyone is comfortable." This response is both honest and respectful, conveying that you value physical affection while also acknowledging the importance of consent and mutual comfort. Ultimately, the question of "Do you like hugging?" is a subtle and strategic way to express interest in physical closeness and to evaluate your openness to tender moments. By responding thoughtfully and respectfully, you can build trust and foster a deeper connection. Beyond the questions, recognizing nonverbal cues and intuition. While these 7 questions provide valuable insights into a woman's potential interest, it's crucial to remember that they are not the only indicators. Nonverbal cues, such as body language, eye contact, and tone of voice, can also provide important clues about her true feelings. Paying attention to her body language can reveal whether she's relaxed and engaged or tense and uncomfortable. If she is smiling, making eye contact, and leaning towards you, it's a good sign that she is enjoying your company. On the other hand, if she's avoiding eye contact, crossing her arms, and pulling away from you, it may indicate that she is not interested or that she is feeling uncomfortable. Her tone of voice can also provide valuable clues about her true feelings. If she is speaking in a warm and enthusiastic tone, it suggests that she is enjoying the conversation. On the other hand, if she is speaking in a monotone or hesitant tone, it may indicate that she is not interested or that she is feeling awkward. In addition to nonverbal cues, it's also important to trust your intuition. If you have a gut feeling that a woman is interested in you, it's worth exploring that possibility. However, it's also important to be respectful of her boundaries and to avoid making any assumptions. Ultimately, the key to successfully navigating the complexities of attraction is to be present, attentive, and respectful. Pay attention to her words, her body language, and your own intuition, and respond with genuine care and empathy, respecting boundaries and avoiding misinterpretations. It's crucial to emphasize the importance of respecting boundaries and avoiding misinterpretations when deciphering the signals of attraction. Just because a woman asks one of these questions does not automatically mean that she is interested in pursuing a more intimate relationship. It's important to consider the broader context of your interactions and to avoid jumping to conclusions based on limited information. Every woman is different, and their motivations for asking these questions may vary. It's also important to be aware of your own biases and assumptions. Men are often socialized to interpret any sign of interest from a woman as an invitation for intimacy, which can lead to misunderstandings and inappropriate behavior. To avoid misinterpretations, it's crucial to communicate openly and honestly with the woman you are interested in. Ask her about her feelings and intentions, and be prepared to accept her answer, even if it's not what you were hoping for. It's also important to respect her boundaries and to avoid pressuring her into doing anything that she is not comfortable with. Consent is essential in any relationship, and it's never okay to force or coerce someone into physical intimacy. Ultimately, the key to building healthy and respectful relationships is to prioritize communication, empathy, and mutual respect. By creating a safe and supportive environment where both partners feel comfortable expressing their needs and boundaries, you can foster a deeper and more meaningful connection. The ethical implications of age gap relationships. When discussing the dynamics between younger women and older men, it's important to address the ethical implications of age gap relationships. While age gap relationships can be healthy and fulfilling, they can also be fraught with power imbalances and potential exploitation. Older men often have more social, economic, and emotional power than younger women, which can create a dynamic where the younger woman feels pressured to conform to the older man's desires. It's crucial for older men to be aware of this power dynamic and to avoid exploiting it. It's also important for both partners to be honest about their motivations for entering the relationship. Older men may be seeking youth and vitality, while younger women may be seeking security and stability. It's important to be aware of these potential motivations and to ensure that the relationship is based on genuine love and respect, rather than on superficial desires. Furthermore, it's important to be mindful of societal perceptions of age gap relationships. These relationships are often viewed with suspicion and judgment, which can create challenges for both partners. Ultimately, the key to a healthy and ethical age gap relationship is to prioritize communication, empathy, and mutual respect. Both partners must be aware of the potential power imbalances and societal pressures, and they must be committed to creating a relationship based on equality and genuine love. Building long-term relationships beyond the initial attraction. While the initial attraction is important, building long-term relationships requires more than just deciphering subtle signals of interest. It requires a commitment to communication, compromise, and continued growth. Communication is essential for understanding each other's needs, desires, and boundaries. It's important to be honest and open about your feelings and to listen actively to your partner's perspective. Compromise is necessary for resolving conflicts and finding solutions that work for both partners. It's important to be willing to give and take and to find common ground, even when you disagree. Continued growth is essential for keeping the relationship fresh and exciting. It's important to pursue your own interests and passions and to support your partner in their pursuits. Building long-term relationships also requires a commitment to intimacy, both physical and emotional. Physical intimacy is important for maintaining a sense of connection and passion, while emotional intimacy is essential for building trust and vulnerability. Ultimately, the key to building long-term relationships is to prioritize communication, compromise, continued growth, and intimacy. By creating a relationship based on these principles, you can foster a deep and lasting connection that enriches both of your lives. Conclusion: embracing open communication and authentic connection. In conclusion, understanding the subtle signals that a younger woman may send is a valuable skill, but it is only one piece of the puzzle when it comes to building meaningful relationships. The most important factor is to embrace open communication and strive for authentic connection. By prioritizing honesty, empathy, and respect, you can create a safe and supportive environment where both partners feel comfortable expressing their needs and desires. Remember that every interaction is unique, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach to love and relationships. Trust your instincts, be mindful of boundaries, and always prioritize the well-being of yourself and your partner. This journey is about fostering genuine human connection, built on mutual understanding and respect.